Please subscribe and share this video with your friends.
Okay, first of all, I'm divorced. I have 2 girls. And I started private coaching with Marni. And she approached me, after our sessions had ended and said, I'm doing this program. I think you should continue working with this. And I was like, oh, I'm dating. I don't really know if I need this. I have a guy. We're dating. I'm already to that point. And she encouraged me to follow through with it, so I did. And it completely transformed my life in relationships in general. My mom and I have she's a very controlling, manipulative woman. Her and I butt heads often. And I carried a lot of that with me into everything that I've done, into our relationship, into how I parent, into everything. And so the work that I kind of focused on through the FLM program was just learning how to not carry all of that baggage with me. I'm a separate entity from her. She has her issues, and I learned how to respect her for that. Before I was judgmental, I'd be in victim too, like, why is she treating me like this? Why is this happening to me? And I came to a point of respecting her for her past, for her differences, for things that she's never dealt with. And it was a huge burden lifted off of me. It's created a lot deeper relationship for her and I, for me and my friends, for people that I would accept crumbs from in the past, friendship-wise, girlfriends. I took a stand and I said, you know what, I'm better than this. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be, who I want, what I want to be.
One of the things that you told me, we talked about before, was that your mom almost was like your gremlin voice. So in your relationship, as it was progressing, you heard that voice that said, I'm not good enough, nothing is good enough,
Completely.
Which impacted James, obviously.
Right. I mean, even in our relationship at the beginning, she was like, I don't like James. I don't think he's right for you. She's still like on the side of my ex-husband. He was like the all-knowing. So no matter who I dated after, I was like, oh, that's not going to work. Like, why are you doing that? It wouldn't matter. It didn't matter what I chose, what I did. It was never right. And so to be free of that, to actually break free of like those restraints, was huge. I mean, honestly, I've lived with it 32 years. I've dealt with it. Not really dealt with it. I've tried to cover it up, and now to actually have the tools to, to know that I'm my own entity. I can get what I want. I don't need approval from her. Even though she is my mom, I have to live this life for myself, so.
And what's the number one thing that changed in your relationship with James once you became more confident?
I would say trust. Like, I was when I started working with Marni, I was like the psycho, crazy, jealous girlfriend, like going through his phone all the time, like wanted to know his whole past, every girl I'd ever been with,
Facebook obsession.
her names. Oh my God, I gotta know what this girl looks like. Like, it was crazy. And like finally I learned, I could trust myself. I didn't need outside approval. He was here for me, his words and actions matched, and it was okay for me to kind of let the walls down. So.
Okay, and so what's the tip? If you could give them one tip, what would it be?
My tip is don't wait. I mean, the time is now. Don't wait until your kids graduate from high school, or until you have $5,000 in the bank, or until, this happens or that happens. I mean, no one is looking out for you but you. You have to do it. There's no more, well, tomorrow. Make the commitment, get it done.
That's awesome. All right, James. So you and I were talking at breakfast. Hi, James is so great. He actually let me coach him.
It's true.
It's true. So when we were talking at breakfast, you were telling me that you were really scared and threatened, about Amanda
Right.
changing. But what's the transformation that you have really seen in her, and how it's impacted your relationship to the point to where you're engaged?
Really, when we first started, like she said, it was a little bit tough, and she had some insecurities, and I did too, obviously, and nobody's perfect. But she, and I was very skeptical for a long time about the Marni work, ever since, like the first week she went upstairs and had a call with her. I was like, at first she told me she was getting coaching, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's like for her career. And then once I realized it was for me, and her, obviously, the rest of her life, of course. But, when I was somewhat of a focal point of this, I was like very, very concerned. I was thinking that maybe Marni would tell her to move away from me, or to push away, or, maybe this wasn't right. And I was on the defensive big time. I had my guns up. I was doing the same thing as she was doing. But now I feel like since this, especially since she did the private coaching before, and now with all these ladies in this community, I feel like she's built, she's just a completely different person. She's still the woman I fell in love with. She's just a much better version of herself. The authentic self is a perfect example. Literally, it's an authentic self. It used to be we would have a fight and she would shut down, and I would too. We would have our guns up together, and she would shut down for 3 or 4 days, and it would be, it'd be brutal. And now, we work through things together. We talk about things, and, she's just, she's been wonderful.
Aw, that's so cute. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for coming. That's great.